And it says, you are live. Hello.
Hello, Jordan. How are you?
Hey, I am good. Hey,
Good.
anybody who's watching us right now, anywhere from across the world, I am Jordan Toronto, and this is Discover Me TV, virtual style. And this time, I am going farther and wider than ever to reach some of the best talent. And this is Alexander Lloyd. I'm so happy to have you.
I'm so happy to be here, Jordan. Thank you.
Yay. And
It's
wait,
really
and should I call you Alex? Do you go by Alex most?
Alex. I think Alex is just easier for everyone. So
Nice.
let's go with that.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're officially like on your headshot, you're Alexander Lloyd.
yeah. The stage name, I guess.
Yes, yeah, yes,
My mum gave
yeah.
me.
It's a good one, but we'll go with Alex today. Yay. So, hi. So I wanted to maybe start by just saying, what were sort of your earliest inklings of wanting to be an actor? Is this something that began young for you, that you knew you wanted to be an actor?
It's a very good comment. I guess for those that don't know, the city that I grew up in, Adelaide, is quite small. It's like exactly between Perth and Sydney.
Okay.
It's a pretty small town, and there's not really that much of a, I guess, like acting community. There's a lot of great things are shot there, and there is a quite a good theatre, sort of high level theatre scene. But apart from that, it's quite not many people know about it. So I never really realized that acting could be a job.
I got it. Yeah.
But when I was younger, I played piano. I played piano since I've been 5, so that was kind of my first look into performing, and I really loved it. And it was something that really scared me a lot, but I still like kept doing it. So that was kind of the first inklings of performing and stage fright, and like having to go up for a concert and your palms are like really sweaty and you don't want to do it, and then you're up there and you're doing it and you're like, wow, I love this.
That's a cool way of saying it. It was something that really scared you, and that was a good thing, right?
Yeah. I try to do things that scare me, not. Yeah. And then I was an avid reader, and so I read a lot, watched a lot of movies with my dad, especially. And it wasn't until I saw my brother in the high school musical. He was the character Johnny Casino in Greece. I watched him do that, and I was like, I can do that. So I auditioned for the play the next year, and it was something that I'd never really done before, never thought I would be able to do, and I really enjoyed it a lot. And then I guess I just kept going from there and did more stuff at high school. And then I finished high school and I went to law school instead. And
no way.
After I finished law school, I was like, okay, I'm going to try and get back into this thing because I enjoyed it so much. And I kind of felt like I needed to get something out.
Did you ever think, no, I actually am going to be a lawyer? Or like, was that the plan?
There was a point where I was like, I'm going to be a lawyer. I think I wanted to do it because Suits was really big back when I finished high school.
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna get like that. But
you might have been following the wrong part of Suits. You might have wanted to be on a show like Suits rather than actually be in the suit, like in the courtroom.
I think that's a pretty accurate.
Oh my gosh. You know, it's so interesting that you just said that you watched your brother and you said, I can do that. Because I've just thought about the story again, and I think my mom is on watching us, and she would verify that when I was really little, I was like 4, and we went to see a production of Peter Pan, that like was at our little community theater, and I guess I turned to her and I went, I can do that. And isn't that so weird that like when you just have this sense and you're like, I don't know why, but I just know. I love that.
Yeah, I really admire my brother. I wonder if he's watching this, probably not, but I really admire him in all aspects of life, and so I guess seeing that he could do that, I was like, oh, he's like up there. He's kind of embarrassing himself a bit, but he's enjoying it. Like that's like I was like, I can do it now.
That's so cool. Wait, and is he still? I mean, is he an actor, or was that just something he did younger and now he does something totally different?
It was kind of like a one-off thing that he did. So I'm thankful for it. But he's actually a very talented pianist. yeah, he's exceptionally good at piano.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, well, I'm thankful for him too, because
Yeah.
I would not know he was an actor if you hadn't seen him in Grease. So yay for him. What's his name?
Pretty much it. His name is Mitchell.
Yay, Mitchell. Yay, that's fabulous. Oh, I'm so happy to, there was those weird moments in life that probably, yeah, like you said, it was a one-off sort of a just fun experience for him, but pretty huge turning point, it seems like. For you.
Yeah. I find there are often kind of forks in the road. Robert Frost, road not taken and stuff, and like they really define who you are, those key moments. And I find it interesting to look back on those moments and be like, oh, I could have not done that. I could have not taken that opportunity, and my life would be completely different now. But it's like, I'm so grateful that I had those opportunities to take in the first place, and that I'm on this path, and you kind of can't really look back too much.
It's so weird, and you can't imagine if you didn't take that turn sometimes. Yeah, that's so fascinating. And I have to go back to that notion that, like, I think that really inspires me when you said, the stuff that scares me, like that's what you see, like you kind of are like, okay, if it's a challenge and if it scares me, it's worth doing. Kind of, is that something you kind of seek out?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
That's so impressive.
Particularly in acting, and I don't know, I listen to a lot of podcasts and interviews and stuff, and a lot of great actors talk about how they seek stuff that scares them, and at the start it's like everything scares you, so you don't really understand, but then after a certain point you're like, oh, this scares me in a kind of deep, vulnerable way that I am that I'm excited to explore.
Yes.
In a way.
Yeah, right. There's that kind of fear, which is the good kind, I guess. Yeah. Oh, and Matt, my husband, is saying, so great to hear from you, Alexander. Oh, so
I hope your uncle's okay.
Oh, I know. Sorry, Matt, I told him you twisted your ankle.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes. So, okay, so I guess my next question, although you know what, actually, I would love to show a little snippet of you playing the piano, actually, because we were talking about that. So that's where it all began, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or it was sort of the beginnings of some of the earlier inklings of you as a performer, I guess, is what you're telling us. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. Where did I? Yeah, let me see if I can just.
Because you're quite musical yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a singer always, and that's always been my thing. I've always wanted to do musicals and stuff, and I still want to. And I'm still using this as a way of, like, I've sung duets with people over here, and it's that's one of the joys for me.
And singing, just quickly singing, that is like, and I mean, I sing a bit, but I wouldn't say I'm a singer. And there is nothing more raw and vulnerable than singing. It's just like the channel of emotion is so pure that you can't hide. And if it's really good, it's just like, it blows you away. It's
oh, I love that. Yeah. I love that description. Yes, and it's such a raw, vulnerable thing, and you can't hide. I love that. Yeah. Oh man. Yes, indeed. Let me see if I can get to your piano. Where did it go? There we go. Let's see here. Can you see that?
I can see that.
Yeah, that's you, and it says improvisation. Great. But Jordan, you got to play it. Okay. Yay. So that particularly, here, wait, I'm going to stop sharing and put us back where we were. That particularly impresses me because that was improvisation.
Yeah, it was kind of, it was something I'd sort of been playing around with, and just like the idea of being loose. I was classically trained as a pianist, and I didn't really like always vibe with that. I was a bit like, yeah, cool. Like I love Chopin. I love those amazing composers and playing their music. But especially when I was younger, I was really impatient. I was like, oh, I want to do other stuff. Like I want to do this. Or like I love that song that I heard. I want to like play around with that. So there'd be a lot of improv, a lot of like finding popular songs and start reading them and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's fun. So like you would be like, well, I'm going to learn it, but then I also want to mess around with the feel of it, and yeah,
which is kind of like acting as well in a way. I find it like ties in that sort of, even if you do have to like play the notes as they're written, say the words as they're written, you can still give it a bit of your own color, give it a bit of your own thing. My piano teacher didn't like that. She was like, no, you have to play Chopin like Chopin. You have to play.
Oh God.
But yeah, that
is limiting. So eventually, I mean, it is good to have that foundation. Yeah, wait, I have a magnet up here on here. Wait, where is this quote? It says, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. Yeah.
I love that so much.
Oh, that's Picasso, I think. And who clearly, is good at that. That's exactly. It's a good one to learn from. But yeah, I think it's so true, right? Like, so it is good to have a foundation, obviously, but like if you feel so limited and hemmed in by it, right? You're gonna lose the love, I think.
yeah, and you got to keep the love. Oftentimes, like, I mean, COVID and lockdown and like particularly over in the States, like we have a couple of lockdowns every now and then and a few cases, but it must be like really, really hard.
I think it is. I mean, I have felt it too, but I know there are people who are feeling it so much worse. At least I do have, I am much more sort of contained with a whole group of people that I love and admire. And I mean, we drive each other crazy too, but we also are happy with who we're kind of stuck at home with. And I know there's so many people who have it so much harder who are, but I mean, and not to compare, and because everyone's got their own things going on. But yeah, I would say that ache, that I guess, especially for artists and creatives of any sort, like that ache of not being able to do what it is you do, or not be able to fully do it, or not be able to do it in front of an audience. And I was just making this compilation of these old in-person videos I did that were most of them a year or more ago. Yeah. And one of the ones that really was heart-wrenching to me was one of the last quotes I was listening to from the woman I was interviewing, an old friend of mine from high school that we did theater. And she said, oh, for me, it's all about performance. It's all about connection with the audience. And I watched that with whole new eyes just this last time. And it was like, she literally, I think it was February of last year. It was February 2020. And it was right before she had gigs coming up with her band, and she's just a singer who absolutely loves live performance. And she was about to stop performing for basically a year right then. And it gets to me. It really is. There is like a real true loss there. And I know that there are more life-threatening and more dramatic losses for people that that hurt worse than that in some ways, but I don't want to diminish either, like the importance of artists being able to do their art and everyone being able to. I think that audience experience of witnessing someone else's creation together and feeling that vibe of like witnessing something as an audience is also something I miss greatly.
It's kind of why live theater is still popular, even though you can just watch a movie, like, because there's the being in the room, in the like watching this thing happen, like right that second, which is like, you don't really get that feeling with anything else. I find.
Yeah, it's so true. It's like, and that's just like, oh, it's so gone. But didn't you tell me that you recently, I mean, it's just easing back in, but didn't you just recently do an actual play and you had like a little bit of an audience?
Yeah, no, we had an audience.
You had an audience. That's amazing.
Restrictions made it difficult to have a full house, obviously, but they gradually eased as our run went on. And so we got a few more people in the final kind of run of performances, but it was just great to be kind of performing for people again. It was scary again. Out of it for so long, and then you have to kind of do it, and you don't like, you're a bit rusty, even though you've been rehearsing, of course, but you're still rusty. And but yes. An amazing experience. That opening night was like really, really special.
Oh my gosh, like no other opening night probably in your life. I mean, an opening night feels good no matter what, but I bet.
Yeah. I was just going to say before that I've been on Clubhouse recently, which is this kind of like this app where it's all they're like voice chat rooms, and there's a great proportion of it is American people who obviously live in America and are obviously struggling with the COVID situation. But something that has greatly inspired me is how positive everyone is, and everyone is so supportive of each other, and they're talking about their wins, and their wins, they mean so much. And if someone has something like, they're struggling with, everyone is supporting that. And like that, just to be purely as an outsider looking in on that whole experience, it's so inspiring and motivating, because I'm like, I need to get on with what I'm doing and do things, because they are still. And so
that's amazing.
You and all that.
What's it called? Clubhouse? It's an app?
It's an app, yeah. I'd highly recommend that to anyone, no matter what field you're in. It's great for creatives, but also for business people. And I think Elon Musk was on it the other week.
Amazing. That's one silver lining. I think, I guess I would call that one silver lining of this strange time, is that there's been sort of this wild, like sort of, I don't know, this opportunity where everyone's kind of doing things from their homes means that it's sort of like an equalizer. It doesn't separate out only, like, everyone is sort of everyone's audience, and everyone, like, so everyone's able to just like, they don't just, I don't know. I think that's been nice. And I've been reconnecting with old friends that I went to school for musical theater with, and like, who are normally just be every single night of the week, except Mondays, probably doing a Broadway show. And now like, I've been able to hang out with them and sing duets with them sometimes. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just been kind of a lovely, weirdly, in some ways, during all the disconnect, there's also been a great connecting quality to it, because everyone's seeking it similarly or something. I think. And so Clubhouse, I love that. That's lovely to know. Here's one other question that I think is kind of fun, that I've asked you other people. What would you call, because I don't know, I won't preface it, I'll just ask you. What's your favorite failure? Oh, what? Did I lose you there a little bit?
Yeah, I just lost you for a second. That's classic.
Oh yes, you're like,
but I hear
it's kind of a miracle how we're doing this anyway. Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So here's then the next question I would ask you. If you could give me a fun example of what would you call a favorite failure in your life that maybe, you realized was not a failure?
That's a great question. I would have, the first thing that came to my mind, which is what I'm going to go with, was when I auditioned for NIDA, which is one of the bigger drama schools here in Australia. I was in my third year of law school, and I'd been doing some acting, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I was kind of just like in these two worlds, and they were two very different worlds, and not just the content that I was learning, but the people in them and all that. And I was trying to like figure out what I wanted to do. And I auditioned, and I got a call back as well. But even just that first initial audition, and the people that I met, a couple of which who have just graduated the year before, I was like, oh wow, like these people that I'm auditioning with, like we're in competition, but everyone was supportive. And the experience of doing the audition, I was like, oh, like I'm loving this. Again, I was so scared, but I was really vibing off it. And then I I got the call back and I went to the call back and then I didn't get it. And many reasons, I'm sure. They don't really go into that, which is fine.
Right.
But I was really sad about it.
Yeah.
But it gave me the, I guess, impetus to be like, okay, this is probably the what I'm like. I couldn't have had that great an experience not getting something that I wanted without it being something that is kind of right for me. It was a weird way to say that, but
No, I totally know. I
Yeah.
like, you were like, this obviously matters. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's when you have that kind of thing where you're like, oh my gosh, so close to something that really, like, I think if it wasn't such a loss, if it didn't hurt so bad, like you might have been like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah, I would be like, oh, well, maybe. Yeah.
right. But the hurt
Mm.
almost tells you just how much it matters. And then it may be, you know, and like, that's so, I totally understand what you mean by that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, and actually one of my other questions was going to be something like I've had a few experiences in life where I've just felt like I'm so like in a situation where I'm like, oh, this is the mothership calling me home. Like, I just feel like this is so like, right. And so it feels like sometimes it's that kind of experience where you're like, it's sort of, even sometimes failures or things not working out, things that are painful in our lives do kind of point us to what matters, to what's important. I think to where that thing that's calling you is, you know, and
Yeah,
makes sense.
definitely, and it definitely helped me get through the rest of law school, and I guess I had a bit of a renewed purpose in that respect. But yeah, that would be the one that just came to my head. So
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, and I will say I'm reading also in the comments that Chris Young, who's an associate producer here with me, on Discover Me TV, says, great to discover you, Alexander. Wonderful to hear your story. And he says
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. You have a great interview chemistry. He says, yes, this is
wow, thank you so much.
We're having fun, I think.
Yeah.
And he says, yes, Clubhouse is amazing. So obviously he knows something I don't.
Yeah. Me and Chris, we got this.
Yes. Thanks, Chris. So wait, one other fun little thing I've been doing. I have some questions from past guests, and Chris, actually. And so I've done a questions from the hat series. So here we go. I'm going to pull something out and see what it says. Oh, this is from one of my way earlier, like probably about a year ago, interviews with a wonderful actress named Mariah Martin. And her question is, how different has your career path been from your planned career path? Well, you may have a little bit answered that with the law school, but
yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I guess when if we go back to high school, I was I was a good student, like a bit of a goody two shoes probably, and but I never really had a great passion to, even then, like I was saying before, acting, I was like, yeah, like I enjoy doing it. And it's something that I feel like I'm good at that time. But I was never like, I have to be an actor. And I was never like, I have to be a lawyer. And I guess like, I didn't really have a plan.
like, how is your plan different than your not plan?
yeah. So, and then after, you sort of live a little bit and you sort of develop a plan, an idea, and one of them was being a lawyer, and I was drawn to international law. I found that quite interesting at law school, but I mean, to put in perspective, the big difference is, I guess, stability, job stability, and the fact that, like, as an actor, you're doing a job interview hopefully every week, hopefully a few times a week. That would be great. But
that's the best case scenario of instability. That is like the most stable version of stability.
And I have friends who are buying houses and doing all this stuff, and getting married and all this stuff, which is awesome. And I love it. And I'm so like filled with joy with their experience. And I am, now that I've sort of put myself aside from that world, it's like I do feel like my life is chaotic, but I love that.
So it's like
So
the non-planned plan, you know, it's like
yeah,
kind of revealed itself to you in bits and pieces along the way, maybe. A little bit.
it definitely has. And a big part of that was COVID last year, and having to be locked down and having to sort of deal with all these emotions and things I've never had to deal with before. I've been very fortunate in my life. I've come from great background, so that has shaped my path as well. Which I'm thankful for. Yeah, so definitely leaning into the chaos of life would be the path I'm on now, as opposed to perhaps a more normal kind of path.
Well, that makes sense, right? Exactly. So that I appreciate that. Thanks, Mariah. I don't know if you're watching. If you watch this again, that's fun. Yeah, she's awesome. You can look her up. Mariah Martin is her name, and she's fantastic. She was pregnant at our last interview, and now has this little adorable baby boy. And I think I need a follow-up interview with her soon. So anyway, yeah, she's fantastic and awesome. And so I think before we end, my mom just wrote too. She's saying, loving this interview. And then she wrote, leaning into chaos. Great phrase. Oh, that's awesome, Mom. Yes, it's true.
Thank you. Thank you, Mom.
Cool. Yes. Yeah, I love that idea. It's sort of like the path became I don't know, sort of a non-path, leaning into it. And liking it. And what a beautiful thing to recognize that life has been pretty darn good to you, and then to realize, okay, well, if this is the first time I'm really delving deep into some hard stuff, how lucky have I been? And I'm grateful, for
and
now.
A lot of acting, particularly in acting schools, they ask you to pull up your trauma, and sometimes
fortunately for you, had a lot of.
And you can sometimes be like, damn, I don't have like this like trauma that other people have. It sounds awful to say, but it's like it's made me realize by accepting that I've had a great life, that like the stories that I can help to tell, by doing that, I can expand my worldview. I can see other experiences, and I can try and experience those other experiences so that I can become a better person, and the stories that I tell can hopefully educate people to sort of become better as well.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, because it's like you don't have to have experienced it all, coming into it to be part of that really important thing about, giving voice to other people's experiences.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a beautiful thing. Well, so I think the last thing I would want to ask is something that I asked you a little bit ahead of time, is just to think about who might I discover next who you think is a fantastic something. I mean, I know I sort of said anybody, author, actor, musician. Who do you not so secretly admire that I should know about?
So I actually recently worked with an actress who completely blew me away. Both with the performance on the day and her attitude to life, and also some of her past work as well. Her name's Yana Pandelis. I don't know if I can put it in. Oh, only one S. I will type it again.
Oh, thank you. This is awesome. I'm excited.
She's an Australian actor, and she's also Greek as well. I'm Greek. My background is Greek, and so is she. But she is partly deaf, and she recently did this amazing performance. I haven't seen the film yet because I was going to see it, and then Melbourne was put into a lockdown, so I couldn't go to the cinema. But I'm going to see it soon. But she's in this film called Unsound, which has just recently come out in Australia, and the reviews have been rave about it, and I think that she needs to be celebrated because she's really doing well. So I would definitely.
Awesome. So the movie is called Unsound. It's actually, is it something that people will be able to watch, or is it just barely coming out actually physically in movie theaters right now?
I think it's just come out in movie theaters, but keep an eye on it because it'll no doubt be out. And I think there's going to be some great things coming from Yana.
Oh, I'm so excited! So I will make sure to look her up, but I'll write down Unsound. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Unsound. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. And is the story, oh, wait, and so did you guys work together on it, or it's just somebody that you've heard about? Or
No, I worked with her on something else more
oh,
recently. She filmed Unsound a couple of years ago, I believe. And it's kind of a bit of a love story about a trans person who has to sort of deal with some things. I won't give away too much.
okay.
I haven't seen it as well, so I can't give a full synopsis. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a great Australian film too, and I think Australia's doing some really good stuff lately.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yay. Well, thank you for introducing me to that. That's
No
awesome.
worries.
Yeah, because it's just my goal. There's nothing I love more in the world than
Discovering.
people and hearing people's stories and hearing,
Yeah.
what came before whatever I've gotten to see. So anyway, and just to give people an idea is that I wish we could show you all this right now, but we work together because
Yes.
Matt and I cast Alex as he was so good in this virtual thing we wrote. We just created a virtual version of a scene from a pilot that we're doing like a little proof of concept for. So I'm hoping that comes to light at some point, and you get to see more from him. But
Yeah.
boy, I will continue to link more things for you to see from Alex in the description below when I post this, and we'll just keep in touch because you just always I'm just ever so impressed by you as an actor and a person, and I'm just very, very grateful that I got to know you. So
well, I'm so grateful that you and Matt gave me the opportunity to work with you, and that we've had the chance to connect over over the ocean. I was going to say Atlantic Ocean. My geography is not great, so I don't want to.
I would be like, sure, that sounds right to me.
Yeah, it's probably.
But anyway, we're crossing a lot of ground to be reaching each other right now, which is pretty cool and pretty magical.
It's so cool. It's great.
Well, thank you so much, Alex. I really, really appreciate it.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Yay. So yes, anybody who's been with us today live, what a joy. Thank you so much. We really appreciate any of you interacting with us. And also, but yeah, come back, tell people to come watch the replay and to get to experience all the fun insights that Alex has brought us today about acting and life. It's been a good time. So thank you, sir, so much.
And check out Jordan's other interviews. They're great. I've watched them. They're awesome.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. They bring me a lot of joy too. So, yay. Okay. And Chris Young tells us, Alexander, when you land a big acting role, come back and tell us about it. So anytime. Yeah, we're happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're happy to have known you when, because this guy is destined for some stardom. I know. It's really, really a joy to watch you and everything. So wonderful. Well, thank you again for being with me, and I hope to connect again soon.
Yes, you too. And stay safe. Stay safe over there.
Thank you so much. I will. And you too. I hope that's your very last lockdown. You guys are doing well.
You're safe.
All right. Well, have a good one. Bye.
You too. See ya.
Bye for now.